The nation is seeing a surge in cannabis smuggling, you guys. Taiwan is experiencing a surge in cannabis smuggling, cultivation, and use, the Ministry of Justice officials said on Wednesday, warning the public against its use and sale, while reiterating its opposition to calls for decriminalization. Presenting seized cannabis products for reporters at a ministry briefing, officers from the Ministry of Justice Investigation Bureau, the MJIB Drug Enforcement Division, said that busts for cannabis possession or consumption have escalated in the past decade from 403 cases in 2014 to 1,477 last year in 2023. The seized total in 2014 came up to 59.8 kilograms and increased to 1,117 kilograms last year, MJIB chemical analyst section chief Chen Shan-chung said. The Bureau has also raided 12 large-scale cannabis growing farms across Taiwan over the past 3 years, Chun said, and in quotes, "We are seeing more cultivation of cannabis plants at home and also more smuggling from abroad in recent years," Chun said. The sharp upsurge is reflected in more raids and higher amounts of seized in packages mailed from abroad, with the top three source countries in recent years being from the United States, Canada, and Thailand, he said. MJIB held the media briefing ahead of next month's planned rally by decriminalization activists from Green Sensation on the 420 holiday. Officials responded to the demands by the advocacy group, providing reasons for maintaining the crackdown. In quotes, they say, "The cannabis situation has been growing in the past decade and has now turned into a major problem for society," MJIB Director General Wang said. Green Sensation members and others have campaigned to decriminalize cannabis for medical use, including broadening the allowance limit on THC and other addictive ingredients to relieve chronic pain. He said these groups have petitioned the government to increase THC tolerance level to 3,000 parts per million, on par with the UN's allowable amount, and remove cannabis from publicity campaigns against the use of narcotics. The ministry has convened meetings in the past year with drug experts, enforcement agencies, and judicial officials, concluding they were to uphold its current policy of zero tolerance for cannabis, which is a Category 2 narcotic under the Narcotics Hazard Prevention Act, Wang said. He cited studies in foreign countries that have shown the negative effects on people who consume cannabis on a regular basis, saying they are affected with mental disorders at 3 times the average rate and experience harmful physical effects. And Wang also said that Taiwan would experience a host of social problems if it allows legal use of cannabis. Minister of Justice Tsai Chang-Haising said that each country has its own set of issues on social environments, and Taiwan cannot just emulate other countries. Right now, cannabis is still a controlled substance, and we have no plan to permit its recreational use, nor would we have an open policy for consumption, he said. The public must not try it, or they will run afoul of the law, he says. Green Sensation spokesperson Chris Chung said yesterday that the ministry officials have in recent years used the media to declare they are waging war against cannabis in Taiwan, making claims and citing questionable information to scare the public, he said. Their heavy crackdowns has not reduced cannabis use, meaning their strong-handed policy has had no effect. If they continue these efforts, it will only result in more pain and trouble for the public, he said. Cannabis is not the most dangerous drug for people to use, and applying the most severe policies is totally out of proportion to its risks and supported harmful effects compared to other narcotics, Chung said. And the U.S. has, in the past, dealt severe punishments for cannabis use, but its government found it to be a wrong policy and made changes, he said. Taiwan banned cannabis because it was following in the footsteps of the U.S., but now the U.S. President Joe Biden has issued pardons to thousands of people convicted of cannabis possession and has called on lawmakers to consider a new classification for cannabis, he added, in quotes. "Too many lives have been upended because of our failed approach to marijuana. It's time that we right these wrongs," Chung quoted. Biden has saying requesting that the government do the same. Considering cannabis as among the most dangerous of narcotics was done on a false premise, he said, adding that now it's the time to rectify this historic mistake, an unjustified application of the law, they say. Well, Taiwan, you guys.
I mean, Taiwanese food is super fire. So I would love to get high in Taiwan and just eat. That would be my favorite thing to do in the world. Yeah.
That whole article sounded like a plot for a cartoon, right, or a comic book. Headed by General Wang.
It's like a dream come true if they do. But yeah, I mean, it's really tough. Also, Taiwan is in political crosshairs as well. So, maybe weed is what they need over there. I don't know.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's that country has seen a lot of growth of U.S. companies going over there for manufacturing that are getting out of China. So,
right.
So there is, I did find it interesting that the U.S., Canada, and Thailand were the I mean, those are the three countries with the most weed. So that makes sense.
It definitely makes sense. And
I thought it was a little sexist when they said most of the cannabis was mailed from abroad. It just said a woman. Said,
fair enough. Fair enough.
Instead of mailed from abroad, would you have femailed from a man?
Oh God. Oh boy.
I don't know about that. That sounds like some Trinidad.
You guys are going down some rabbit holes now today.
So here's what comes up for me. The first is Taiwan needs its alliance with the United States because of its issues Saman touched upon with mainland China. He stole my joke because I was going to talk about the street food and how it probably goes hand in hand with a pre-roll.
Real recognized real, Yarrow.
I mean, look, we have brother from another mother. So I do think there is this convergence of cannabis and culinary, and that Taiwan in a post legalization era will have an opportunity to really make a mark in that regard. The thing that I really appreciate about this article was that the people who were proponents of legal cannabis in Taiwan were citing the policy journey with the United States, okay? And they were saying, look, Biden has done this, and they've realized that these previous policies were misguided or weren't very, very enlightened. And so my hope would be that they change quickly. And it's odd to me that people aren't willing to go, okay, well, what's the cost of enforcement? What's the cost of dealing with these grows and the smuggling and this and the that? Wouldn't it be better to just stand up a regulated paradigm? And I think until they recognize that people are going to use cannabis with or without legalization, it's hard to work backwards. It's hard to understand that, like, with or without a program, people are still going to be people, and people are still going to do these things. And the cost of criminalization to that society has got to be pretty large.